From County College of Morris, this is CCM All Access.
Hello, and welcome to CCM All Access, the show that brings you news and information from the County College of Morris. Students on campus, members of the community, people doing good things. I'm Nicholas Kratzel, and joining me today is Isabella Petrucci, who is a member of CCM's Women in STEM Club and Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. Welcome.
Hi, it's good to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to have you. So, you're the president of both of these organizations.
Correct.
Can you tell us about the Women in STEM Club?
So, the Women in STEM Club, it's been here, I think we started the club in 2013. Obviously I wasn't here, but we do a lot of conversation, a lot of discussion. All are welcome to the club. It's not just women, and you don't just have to be in a STEM major to join the club. It's more about the discussion of women in a male-dominated field.
Okay. So are you a science major yourself?
Yes, I'm a biology major.
Okay, interesting. So do you guys do labs? Like what goes on like a daily day at the club? Can you explain that?
So we don't do labs, but that's actually an interesting idea.
Okay.
But we, the last meeting we just had, it was our first meeting, and we just had like a fun little welcome session. But at a typical meeting, we do a discussion question, and we have the people in the room voice their opinion, voice their experiences. I like to make it a place where women especially can really state their experiences and the things that they have been through in the STEM fields specifically.
Interesting. Okay. So when does that start? Does that start at the beginning of the school year?
Yeah, so we go all semester long. We have meetings once a month.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. And like you said, anyone can be a part of it, and were you guys at the club meeting earlier this year?
Yes, we were. Yes.
How did that go?
It went really well. You're talking about the welcome bash,
yes.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, it went really well. We got a lot of sign-ups. A lot of a diverse collection of sign-ups, not just women, not just people in STEM, which was really great, and I was happy to see it. So.
You guys were obviously trying to get a lot of people join. Did you guys meet expectations, I guess?
Yeah, I was, I tried to go in with no expectations just because I don't know what the incoming freshmen are into. But it definitely succeeded my expectations.
Wow,
we got a great turnout.
So, like you said, you guys are still meeting, and so you guys talk about what goes on. It's not just at CCM, but
correct.
In fields related to STEM.
Correct. Yes.
How do you guys try to get people involved with that?
So we do a lot of fun things around campus.
Okay.
Like for instance, last semester during finals week, we had a movie night under the stars where we had like a big screen, and we had people come just to chill out during finals. So a lot of the things that students would be interested in, even if it's not involving STEM specifically, we have them get involved in our club and promote our club at these events.
Right. Wow. Okay. Interesting. So at the club, do you guys do anything like I think I already asked you about like labs, and you said that's an interesting idea. But do you guys do anything like related to actual science, or is it kind of just getting people involved in the STEM field?
Yeah, so we are trying to get speakers in the field involved in our club to come to the meetings. I have multiple people in mind. Like we have a lot of nursing students that come to our meetings, so
right.
I want to get someone in the field of nursing that's already a nurse to come in and speak to the students, and similar things in other of the fields as well.
So what does I'm not sure, what does STEM actually include?
So STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math.
Okay.
And so I try to include everything from that. It is a little hard for me just because I am just a biology major, so I have other people of the club influence me and say here's what we want, and I try to do my best to give it to them.
So are most of the people looking to transfer into, not even just into STEM, but just transfer in general to try to get a job, maybe related maybe not?
Yeah, so most of the people that are in STEM majors at CCM are looking to transfer solely because it is a little difficult to get a job just with an associate's in a STEM field, but you know, a lot of people are looking to go to med school or become a nurse or go into research.
Wow, okay. So what are you looking to do?
So I am actually interested in becoming a forensic pathologist. I intend on going to med school for that.
Really? So have you looked at any schools yet, or?
Yeah, so I'm still, kind of putting off looking at med schools just because, I'm trying to focus on the right now. But
Getting the basic stuff done first.
Yeah, but for transfer for the rest of my bachelor's degree, I'm looking at John Jay School of Criminal Justice.
Oh wow, where's that?
That's actually in New York City.
Okay, so let me ask you, you would have to go to criminal justice school first, right? Because it's forensics.
Yeah.
And then medical school.
Yeah, so I would finish my bachelor's degree. I would get a degree in either forensic science or biology, and then I would go to med school. Wow,
okay. So I guess with you doing that, have you met anyone, I guess, inside the club, outside of the club, that want to do the same thing here at CCM?
No, it's really difficult to find someone else that wants to be a forensic pathologist. I've seen and discussed with a few people on the internet, but other than that, it's kind of rare to find someone else that.
So what's the difference between that and just a regular forensic scientist?
So forensic scientists, there's a lot of different branches of forensics. There's people that work with blood and they're hematologists, or there's police and they work with detectives and the crime scene investigation. Yep. There's people that work with DNA, and then there's actual medical doctors that do the autopsies on the bodies, which is what I'm interested in doing.
Wow, okay. That's really interesting. That's actually crazy. So I guess going back to the club again, so what kind of fields besides, I guess, outside, because like you said, you can get a degree in biology and you can transfer and then go to medical school or law school, whatever they intend to do.
Right.
What are some of the fields outside of just, majors that some of these people are looking to go into in the STEM field?
So a lot of people, like I said, nurses.
Yep.
But so you're saying like outside of the STEM fields, or?
No. In the STEM field, I'm saying like how you said you're going to get a degree in biology from here, but you're going to end up being you're going to be in the forensics fields. Is there like an over dominating thing that a group of people in the club want to do? Or?
Right. Yeah. So we mostly have nurses.
Okay.
A lot of people wanting to go to med school, but a lot of our students do want to go into research, especially for certain diseases like cancer, or a lot of students have diseases that run in their family that they want to research and find a cure for.
Wow. Okay. That makes sense. I've heard a lot of that recently. People going into fields. Even whether they're looking at employment rates or not, that it hits them personally, I guess. STEM related, actually.
Yeah.
Like I know this isn't obviously as personal as that, but like I know my friend, he's an engineering major, and every single person in his family, from his grandfather to his great grandfather, all of them have been engineers, and he wants to continue doing that, and just because and he loves it. So, it's great to see people, doing stuff that they like,
Right, yeah, and of course we have, the women in our club that, they're an engineering major, and, a lot of the stuff that they talk about, it blows my mind, because I'm like, that is something I would have never thought of, or, or we even have like people in the club that are, mathematics majors, or any major in the STEM field that they want to become teachers or professors. So it's not just like, doctors and stuff like that, it's jobs that you wouldn't necessarily think are STEM, like professors or teachers, but a lot of things that are hidden more in STEM like that.
Right. So I think you kind of touched on this before, but can you explain some of the things that the club does outside of just meeting? Like, do you guys do fundraising or anything like that?
Yeah, so a lot of our funds do depend on what the school gives us, but we do a lot of events just to promote the club. Like I said, last semester we did a movie night. We had snacks, and like we had a huge screen outside, which was a lot of fun. People like came and wore their pajamas and stuff.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
But we try to do like kind of like just fun things around campus, not too serious.
Right.
Just because of the topics that we are talking about in the club a lot are serious. We try not to keep it so low all the time. So we like to do some fun things. Also in the spring, we might be planning on, taking a field trip to, we're thinking maybe doing somewhere in Philadelphia.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
wow, awesome. So you said, I think you said this, the club meets once a week or once a month?
Once a month, yeah.
Okay. So how does that, has it always met once a month like that?
So ever since I've been at CCM, so this is my 3rd semester, ever since I've been here, they've been meeting once a month, but I don't know about before that. But yeah, so, a lot of clubs meet once a week, but I know, STEM majors have a lot to do, so I like to keep it light and just meet once a month.
Yeah, I know, like I said, like my friend that's in engineering, he is absolutely skunked with work.
Yeah.
And all the people I meet, I had to take biology this semester. And, I wasn't really looking forward to it. I've learned a lot in there so far, but it's hard.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff that you need to, remember and recognize and relate. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think it's crazy, not crazy, but unbelievable, that there's a club that's related to that, because people are just so interested. And there's people that are not good at science, really, with the math and remembering. But everyone is, that I know at least, is so interested in it. Yeah. I guess yourself too?
Yeah, like you said, like some people like technically aren't good at something, but for me, I always thought like, oh, I'm not good at math or something like that, but I can do it. It just takes me, a little longer. And some people are like interested in STEM, and even though they're not STEM majors, because, it takes them a little longer to do it, they can still be a part of the community by being part of the club. Okay.
And so in terms of the STEM club again, what's your role in like leadership? Because you said you are the president. What's different about being just a member and being the president or someone, higher up?
Right. So as president, I run the meetings. I stand more, instead of like, I'm just like, oh, president of the club. It's more of a role model for the people in the club. Okay. I like to be a voice for them instead of just, someone that runs their meetings. And, I like to get to know them and really share their interests. And in such a club that talks about topics like we do, I think it's important to have someone that, like, if they're having a problem on campus, someone that can be able to reach the right people to help them.
So how did you get to that point where, like, did you start out as a member?
Yeah.
Or did you go right into it and they...
So I started out as a member, and I met a lot of great people in the club, and who I'm still friends with today. And they happened to be, president, vice president, and then eventually, I stayed friends with them, and the club was kind of struggling with COVID and, people being online and stuff like that. So we were struggling to find officer positions, and people in officer positions were graduating, so I was like, I'll do it. So,
right.
So
yeah,
I picked it up, and I'm kind of bringing it back up from being virtual.
Wow.
So.
Well, I'm glad you were able to share that with us.
Yeah, of course.
And now we're going to take a quick break. Please stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
I'm Andrea Lucia, a graduate of County College of Morris. At CCM, I gained a high-quality education, was involved with clubs on campus, and performed university research in tissue engineering. My CCM education prepared me for ongoing success. Today, I am at Cornell University, studying engineering and performing research in cardiac tissue engineering. The professors and staff at CCM helped me to start right and finish strong.
And we're back on CCM All Access. I'm Nicholas Kratzel, and we're here with Izzy Petrucci. Welcome back.
Hello.
So, you're also the president of Phi Theta Kappa, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what does that do? Is that a club or?
So Phi Theta Kappa is an honor society specifically for two-year schools.
Okay. And what happens? Do people just get involved through How do people get involved with that?
So the requirements for PTK are a 3.5 GPA or above and the completion of 12 credits. They can be online credits and they can also be transferred credits.
Okay. And do they have this, like anyone on campus can do that if they meet those requirements?
Correct.
Who would they have to speak to for that?
So it's actually by invitation.
Okay.
So the invitations go out at the beginning of each semester, and the inductions are near the end of the semester.
Okay. And what do they do? Do you guys have meetings, or is it like more of like a club organization, kind of like the other club that you're a part of?
Right. So so PTK, we do have meetings. At the moment, we're kind of coming back from COVID, especially since the last president did graduate. We were kind of just picking up the pieces from COVID and being virtual, just like women in STEM. But yeah, so usually we do have meetings, and we also do an honors project throughout the semester as well.
Oh, wow. What does that entail?
So the honors project usually talks about something that is going on globally,
okay.
and the students are, made to give a solution to that problem.
Okay, interesting. So how are you nominated? You're the president, as we
Correct.
know. So how were you nominated to that position?
So actually, the officer positions were vacant since a few semesters ago, the last president did graduate.
Like you said, yep.
So the office was closed, and things weren't really going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was part of student government, and I saw that the PTK wasn't running, so I was like, let me pick that up so that I can start, the meetings again, and because I was already a part of the Honor Society, I'd gotten my letter and everything.
For this one?
For
Right.
PTK.
Okay.
So I contacted the administrators for it, and I started getting it picked back up.
Awesome, great. So like you said, you were in it. I kind of asked you this before about the Women in STEM Club.
Right.
So you're the president. What's the difference between just being a part of it and being the president? Do you have a different role in leadership, or?
Right, yeah. So we have a lot of leadership roles. There's multiple vice president roles, as well as like treasurer, secretary, but president, as well, like helps run the meetings, but what really the president does is just kind of oversees everything that goes on.
Okay.
The other officer roles that are under the president really what make the club run smoothly,
Okay.
and the president just oversees everything.
Okay. So everyone's got to go through you.
Right.
You're like
correct.
the big boss.
Correct.
Got it. So how often does the club meet?
So at this point, if we were meeting at this point, we would be meeting probably once a month. At this point, we're not meeting just because we're still getting, back together,
Right.
And trying to fill the officer positions. But we would be meeting once a month.
Okay. So were you guys meeting virtually during like last year, or no?
No, we were not, just because
So
the president wasn't there and
Right.
it was closed
Okay.
down.
So it was completely.
Yeah, it was shut down.
Really? So I guess right now you guys are trying to, I guess, like you said, you kind of have to get an invitation and whatnot.
Correct, yeah.
But you guys are obviously trying to get more members, because you said there's, vacated spots.
Right,
How
yeah.
has that been?
It's been okay. I've been sending out emails, to the current members about, officer applications for leadership positions, and it's been scarce with the responses, but once the letters for the beginning of the semester go out, we might have better luck with the officer positions.
So between what you guys do in the fall, obviously you said right now it's kind of like an iffy time for
Right.
what's going on, but like between what's going on in the fall and the spring, is there a big difference, or?
Yeah, so for this semester, we've just been talking about taking it, as it goes and
Taking
see
it
what
slow and
happens.
stuff. Yep.
But for the spring semester, we're planning on, creating more volunteering opportunities for students, and, things that help them fill their resume, things like resume workshops and stuff like that to help students really, people that are transferring,
Right.
help them build their CV and things like that. So, and we also offer a lot of scholarships to students as well.
Nice. So I think you said this in the beginning, but it's only offered to two-year students at community colleges,
Correct.
right? So how does that work when someone transfers? Do they still get the benefits of what's going on, or?
Yes. So once you're a PTK member, you're a member for life.
Okay.
But a lot of transfer schools that take a lot of people from two-year schools have scholarships specifically for people that have been in PTK.
Oh wow. Okay. So does PTK, like you said, it's only 2 years, but is there anything similar to that when someone transfers, or is it really hard? Because they're not going to be going to the same school.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
right.
how do they stay in contact?
So, we do have a Discord.
Okay.
We have a Discord
One way
channel
to
that
communicate,
we communicate
Yep.
in that, but it's not a super long-term thing. Like I said,
Yes.
you are a member for life, but it's more of, what can we do right now
In
and
the
in
2
this
years that
moment
you're
in the
here.
2 years that we
Yes.
have.
Okay.
So yeah.
Wow, okay. That's really interesting. Because I know that like some colleges, I totally forgot about this, that they only have, I guess, these organizations for the community colleges, which is
Right.
great, because when you transfer, it shows that you've done, I guess, volunteer work and
Correct. Yeah.
other things to show that you're, staying involved.
Yeah,
So-
and you're more likely to, be accepted into a sorority or fraternity. And
Oh,
stuff like
really?
that. Yeah.
After when you transfer. Mm-hmm. So, but like you said, they're not related whatsoever, I
They're
guess.
not related, but they're, we both have Greek and stuff like that.
Right,
so-
right. The letters and yep.
Yeah.
So, how long has this been around?
So PTK, oh gosh, you're really pulling at my memory here, but the society's been around for quite a while. I don't remember the exact year.
Obviously before you.
Way before me. Before me.
Okay, interesting. And do you know how it got started at all, or?
I'm not exactly sure,
Okay.
but yeah, I'm not
Okay,
exactly
okay.
sure.
Interesting. So is there, besides, so it's student run, correct? Or no?
Yes, we do have, we have some advisors for the club, Dr. Michelle Iden and Professor Gigliotti.
Okay.
And, they help us, just run things more smoothly, but it
Okay.
is very student run, yes.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. So the professors, do they do a lot of the, trying to get people into the organization?
Currently, I've been working with them to, see, when the letters are being sent and work to find a date for induction and things like that. So right now, I've been working very closely with them to, make sure that students are aware that if they are eligible for PTK, that, it might be a good idea for them to, sign up.
Get involved.
Yeah.
Right. So, are you going to be graduating this spring?
I will be, yes.
Okay. So, will you have to help try to get someone new into your
Correct.
position?
Yes.
So how is that going to work?
Once the leadership positions are filled, hopefully one of the vice president positions will be able to take my role.
Okay. Wow. So, but obviously, like you said, first they're going to have to get more people in to get their.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys have a lot of stuff going on right now.
We do, yeah.
Wow. All right. So, I might have asked you this. I may have not. So the club, how often does it meet?
So we're supposed to be meeting once a month.
Okay. And that'll really start more in the spring.
Correct.
Okay. And in the spring, do you guys have like an overlying plan for the spring, or?
Yeah, so I just, I want to start doing more community togetherness meetings
Right.
and stuff like that, just because we have been kind of separate so far. No one really kind of even knows what I look like, some of them. And so,
And you're the president.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're getting these emails from me and they're like, who is this
Who
woman?
is that? Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so I want to start getting, the group actually together and
Right.
start working together, doing volunteering and things like that.
So what would you guys be doing like in the volunteer work? Do you have any plans? Or?
So it depends on people's majors. I want to see if I
really?
can get, specific volunteering opportunities for specific majors. Like, let's say let's take for instance, like biology majors or
Right.
STEM majors. Like I can, I actually work with a volunteering organization for hospice patients, so I can.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
Yes. So I was thinking about seeing if they can get involved in the same organization as me. But for other majors, I can see other organizations and see if we can set up a partnership for students to be able to volunteer with them.
Really? Wow. So it's almost like a mini internship, really?
Yes, exactly.
Wow, okay. So, I mean, it really you get a lot of stuff when you're
Yes,
part of
there's a
this.
lot of benefits. There's also a lot of like national meetings and things like that with like the officers and stuff. So
Do you have to go to them, or?
I don't, but I do like to check them out.
Okay. Where are they?
So they're mostly virtual right now, but a lot of them are in states that are not New Jersey.
Not
so
close to here.
Not close.
Wow. Okay, so PTK is really like everywhere.
Right.
So do you know how many like colleges are using it?
I'm not sure how many community colleges in the United States have PTK, but I know that I think most of the New Jersey community colleges have PTK.
Use PTK.
Yeah.
So is that the only honor society that you could be a part of? Like, I guess at CCM, but really anywhere at community college wise.
Well, there's multiple. So you can open a chapter of a community college organization anywhere, just as long as the community college like applies.
Okay. I guess the 2-year standard that they have.
Right.
For
There has to be a 2-year thing, and then also, there are some that overlap, like the National Society of Leadership and Success.
Mm-hmm.
That one overlaps. Some 4-year schools have that one, and some 2-year schools have that one. Like CCM has that, but also like I think Pennsylvania,
other community
State
colleges
Pennsylvania
could
has
have
that
it.
as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I want to thank you for coming on today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we had a great conversation. This concludes another edition of CCM All Access. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.